Hello, everyone. My girlfriend ridicules and disparages me whenever she catches me playing video games. There are games I am interested in, but I feel I am never allowed to play them. I wonder if this is something other men have experienced and how you dealt with it. I was thinking of finding some heartfelt games I could share with her to try to move her away from blunt prejudice against an entire artistic medium. Hatred toward a medium, such as books, movies, or paintings, would be seen as ignorant for any other art form. I might play for 30 minutes a day. If I were allowed, I would probably play for an hour or two when I am inside on a weekend. I also do most of the chores, though she does as well, but she rarely gets angry if I do not clean the dishes soon enough. Story 1. There are two general scenarios at play here. Men who game excessively and neglect their partner, and women who cannot stand seeing their partner enjoy leisure time or fun unless she orchestrates it. If it is the first scenario, game more moderately. If it is the second, it is best to end the relationship. It almost never ends with video games alone. My ex-wife was like that. She would make me watch America's Next Top Model, a reality television show I dislike, with her for hours on end. But if I sat down to watch anime once a week or tried to play a game, she would be annoyed the whole time. This was not the reason we divorced, but it was one of many reasons I am now glad we are no longer together. Story 2. She has to go, mate. It's not the video games that are the problem. It's the control aspect that's a concern. I'd understand her side a bit if you were playing 60 hours a week, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I've only dated two people in my life, my high school girlfriend and my wife. The high school girlfriend also disliked me playing video games, even though I really didn't play much, maybe 1 to 2 games a year. She got upset when I played Fallout 4 on release, even though she was on holiday. Creeps into other aspects of your life, slowly but surely. The only hobby you're allowed to have is watching her shows, taking her on dates to her places, and hanging out only with her friends. You have to lie about what you're doing just to catch up with your own friends, who she hates, and they hate her. I figured this was normal because I had no relationship experience. Then I met my wife. She doesn't care what I do with my time as long as I'm working and not neglecting her. She plays video games in her own time on her Nintendo Switch, and sometimes she watches me play games on the PlayStation 5 that are too hard for her. She jokes while we're doing it. Relationships require some level of compromise from both sides, but it sounds like she's refusing to do that with you. It's abusive, and there's no point in staying in this relationship because being married to her would drain the life out of you. Find yourself a proper wife, king. Story 3. She will never stop belittling you. Belittling someone, or even just something about them, is a sign of contempt, and contempt is one of the most reliable indicators that a relationship is doomed. She has no respect for you as a partner. You are an accessory that irritates her by not being exactly what she wants at all times. This will only escalate. If you choose to give up video games, it will be what TV shows or movies you like, books that you read, or sports that you enjoy. There will always be something she criticizes you for, because at the end of the day, any person pulling this kind of behavior does not actually like you. They may like the imaginary version of you that they invented in their heads, but reality will keep disappointing them, and there is nothing you can do to change that. Cut your losses. Story 4. Find a new girlfriend or at least have a serious discussion about it. 30 minutes on average is hardly anything. Story 5. Oh no. First, what gives her the right to say what you are permitted to do as a hobby? Second, where is your self-respect? There is no way this is the only issue. She has absolutely no respect for you. Story 6. Everyone is saying break up with her like it is simple. Let me give you my experience. I was with someone who did the same, hated that I played video games. She made me sell a lot of my beloved collection, including a Pokemon Crystal cartridge, my Nintendo 64, my copy of Dark Cloud, among many more. A lot of the games I sold are now worth a lot more than they were then. She made me do this because I needed to grow up and she would not marry me unless I could learn to be a man. So I did. She dumped me anyway. My wife, on the other hand, plays games with me, has a nicer personal computer than I do, and for my birthday, she got me a Pokemon Crystal cartridge. She does not disparage me for anything. She does not make me want to change to please her. She makes me love and believe in myself enough to envision the person that I want to grow to be, and supports and encourages me to become what I believe is the best version of myself. So the long-winded way of saying it is that simple. If she cannot accept your hobbies and interests and who you are as a person, leave her for someone who will. Story 7. So you have found a hobby you enjoy, and she treats you poorly because of it? My brother, she should be promoted to acquaintance rapidly. Story 8. 30 minutes a day is very little. Find a new girlfriend. There are plenty of women who play video games, even if they do not play the same ones as you. Do not waste your time with someone who criticizes you for playing for 30 minutes a day. Story 9. Leave her. It is one thing to spend all of your time doing that to the point of ignoring everything else. But if it is truly a hobby that you do occasionally and she still gives you a hard time and berates you, then you are clearly not a good fit. Story 10. You are a grown man. Act like it. By that, I do not mean do not play video games. End the relationship. She gets upset over 30 minutes of video games, but I guarantee she spends much more time on her phone each day. Story 11. End the relationship. If she does not allow you to be yourself and enjoy your interests, it will only get worse from here. Story 12. Go find someone else. As long as it is not negatively impacting your relationship, she should not care. Story 13. What do you mean you are not allowed to play for more than an hour on the weekend? Do not sell yourself short or put yourself into a toxic relationship for some easy companionship. It is not worth it. Story 14. Your partner does not get to tell you what you can or cannot do for fun, especially if it is a harmless hobby. Story 15. Get a better girlfriend. She is your partner, not your mother. There is nothing wrong with being incompatible. Just do not stay there too long. Story 16. Personally, I think it is ridiculous how some forms of entertainment are stigmatized while others are exalted by society. Everyone thinks playing video games is wasting time, but television time is relaxing. Reading is often placed on a pedestal as always being a healthy activity, when in reality, most people who read do so only for entertainment purposes. Story 17. I play video games as a way to unwind. I rarely get to play, especially compared to how much I used to play, maybe 2 hours a week if that. My partner understands this. It is a way for me to rest my body while keeping my mind engaged. I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and a hard time sleeping, so I play video games instead of napping. You need to stand up for yourself and tell her to either stop or leave. Story 18. I was thinking of finding some sincere games I could share with her to try to move her away from blunt prejudice of an entire artistic medium. This is unrealistic. I don't know why guys always seem to think that if they can just get their girlfriend or spouse to play a certain game, it will flip a magical switch and convert them into a gamer or someone who won't look at the medium in a critical way. I'll tell you exactly what the root problem is. It is a lack of respect for you, your leisure time, and your hobbies. That is all there is to it. It really sounds like she is controlling you, and since you are going along with it, she will continue to do so. Without getting too deep about how your relationship sounds difficult, you need to know that partners should never disrespect the things that each person enjoys. My wife doesn't play games, but she has never tried to tell me I am too old or ask why I waste my time. My wife loves cheesy movies, and guess who is there right with her watching when she wants to see Twilight or some romantic comedy? Even if something isn't our particular cup of tea, we don't criticize it because one of the coolest things about being in a relationship is seeing how excited your partner gets about something. Why rain on the parade? You have some self-reflecting to do, my friend. Her behavior won't change if you don't speak up. If she decides to leave because you speak up about something so simple, she was probably with you because she thought she could walk all over you. Story 19. I was in a long-term relationship with someone who acted the same way. I stuck around and eventually felt ashamed about how much I loved video games. In addition, I was not very interested in the alternative option of hanging out with her friends all the time. In the end, I left that relationship. I met someone who is also into gaming, and now she is my preferred teammate in any game we play. We can play for hours at a time. Obviously, there is much more to a relationship than individual hobbies, so weigh everything accordingly. In the end, there is someone for everyone out there, and you should never feel shame for your passions or interests. Story 20. Straight up tell her this is one of your hobbies and you will spend some of your free time doing it. She can accept that. It's an everything in moderation approach. Don't be a drooling gamer and prove her right. Most people who have this opinion of games are very hard to convince otherwise, in my opinion. Stand your ground and, like you suggested, show her games she might like to broaden her views on games. Story 21. I am 44, turning 45 very soon, and I am married with 4 kids. Yesterday, I picked up my launch Switch 2. I told my wife I was picking it up and playing it all day on launch. She was fine with it and has been fine with me playing video games since the day we met. If she wasn't, I wouldn't be with her. Don't change who you are for anyone. Remain true to yourself. Story 22. Why do you need to get permission to play games? You are a fully grown adult. As long as you fulfill your responsibilities, you can do whatever you want during your free time, just like she can spend her free time doing what she wants. Does she need to get permission from you to go shopping, read books, or scroll on TikTok? Story 23. I had this issue until I realized that the games I play are stories I use to escape life for a while, just like she uses reality television and television in general to do the same. She recognized the hypocrisy in her view immediately, in fairness to her. Anyone who judges you for playing video games while spending hours every day watching television is a hypocrite. If they cannot see that, then they are an ignorant hypocrite. Story 24. You have to do what is best for you and your relationship. For some individuals, it is giving up gaming for a more peaceful household. For me, I found a partner who lets me game and sometimes games with me. Story 25. A proper relationship allows room for hobbies. If your partner dislikes them, it means either you have an addiction or she has a problem with you having hobbies she does not approve of. Sounds like the latter. My only advice is to talk to her about it or leave, because her behavior is unnecessary. I am certain that if you did the same with one of her hobbies, she would have a problem with it. Story 26. You realize that if she is belittling you for your hobby now, she will have a never-ending list of grievances if you take the relationship further. I have a friend who stood in line tonight to bring her youngest son to get a Switch from GameStop. She plays games. She is in her 40s. She would strongly confront anyone who tried to criticize her son because of his hobby. Criticize your girlfriend for her boring hobbies and see how long it takes before she becomes very upset with you. Relationships have to be reciprocal, and I can guarantee that your girlfriend is not like that. Story 27. Some men's hobby is repairing cars, others playing video games. If my girlfriend had a problem with me playing video games, then I would call her ex-girlfriend. Story 28. Keep the games and replace the girlfriend. I do not even play video games, but that is classic controlling behavior. Story 29. Allowed? My guy, you are a grown man. Do what you love, and while you are at it, find someone who respects you and the things you enjoy doing. You will be much happier. Story 30. Don't be in relationships with people who hate your hobby. It will not end well. It speaks volumes about a person if they put others down for enjoying something. You do not have to justify yourself. I would legitimately have a serious discussion or leave. It is not worth it. Story 31. You need to make it clear that this is your hobby and you are allowed to do your hobby at times convenient to you. Play for an hour. It is your time, not hers. If she cannot accept you doing something that makes you happy, then find a better woman. Story 32. Since we are allowed to police each other's hobbies, make sure you do the same to her about the hobbies you do not like. Stay toxic, my friends. Story 33. Firstly, stop thinking in terms of what you are allowed to do. You do not need your girlfriend's permission or approval to do anything that does not involve her. If gaming is important to you and she does not like you gaming, end the relationship. Story 34. Something is fundamentally wrong if you, as an adult, are being controlled by a partner. Remember, you should be equals in a relationship, partners, not a ruler and a subject. The behavior of getting angry if you do not wash the dishes quickly enough indicates abuse. Story 35. I am never allowed. Why is your girlfriend your handler? None of what I read sounded healthy or stable long term. If your gaming habits do not affect your day-to-day life, then it is a good hobby to have. Story 36. Why are you with someone that disparages you when you are enjoying yourself? Is your self-esteem so low that you let someone step all over you? Be strong. Tell her to leave and move on with your life. Story 37. Do not marry this person. She sounds like a hobby killer. She will target every pastime you enjoy and destroy your ability to enjoy it without guilt. She is doing this subconsciously to make you more productive with your time for her own benefit. You will compromise to such a degree that the very thought of playing as you once did is not worth the hassle. Story 38. Many people before me have said this is abuse. It might not be violent abuse, but trying to control your life in that way is definitely abuse. There is no need to talk to her about it. Just leave her. She is a terrible person. Why would you want to have someone with those values around? Leave her and come play Darktide. Story 39. I am just going to start off and say no one should be belittled or abused for things that they enjoy, especially not from their partner. I have seen this a lot from women time and time again. I am a 30-year-old man and I enjoy video games, but I have never let them be a problem in my relationship from either side. I have had girlfriends in the past who despised video games because they had problematic ex-partners who would dodge responsibilities and not contribute to the relationship. So they saw video games as a bad thing. I can understand why, but really, it is a dynamic that has been around for years in various forms. How many sitcoms feature the trope that the husband never pulls his weight around the house because he was out at the bar? In a sense, it is no different other than the fact that video games are more accessible since you do not even have to leave your house. I have also seen men who exaggerate and say their partner hates video games when really they have not been pulling their weight in the house nor have they been a good romantic partner. Many of these men had women in their lives who just wanted someone responsible who would also plan and take them on dates or even just spend a Friday evening with them rather than online playing with friends. The key is to figure out which type of woman your girlfriend is. Is she making a reasonable request? Or is she trying to control you by getting you to stop doing something that is not causing problems? If she is belittling you and making you feel bad, I am going to guess the latter. To me, this should never be an issue in a relationship. I have had girlfriends try to tell me I was not allowed or try to guilt me for playing a reasonable amount. Those relationships never lasted. At the end of the day, I am a responsible man and my priorities are in line. I do not play when I do not have time. I do not shirk responsibility to play, and I do not ignore my partner in order to play. Family comes first, then my adult responsibilities such as job and house, and then whatever free time I have, I will spend how I want to. If you have really asked yourself the hard questions and you are not doing anything wrong, then either try to set her straight or move on. Life is too short to be controlled, and you can find someone whose values and ideas align with yours. Story 40. There is no room in any relationship for disdain of one's partner. If it is present in either person, the relationship is at best dying and at worst dead. So you need to be ready to leave. Story 41. Reading the edit. Is she your girlfriend? No, she is not. She is your mother. Come on, you are an adult. If I were allowed, I would probably play for an hour or two. Really? Remove her from your life and find a new girlfriend. Story 42. Definitely find a new girlfriend. There are many women who play video games. You should not feel bad for something you enjoy, especially if it is not overtaking your relationship. Story 43. Don't ever give up on the things you love. You were playing video games long before she came into your life. Enjoy your games. You will regret giving up the things you love because of a relationship. Story 44. You are better off improving yourself to become a person who is compatible with others. You cannot fix people who do not want to be fixed. This applies to both her towards you and you towards her. Story 45. Why would you allow someone who disdains something about you into your inner circle? Either she loves you as you are, or she should not be your girlfriend. It would be unreasonable, almost unconscionable, for her to tolerate you being disdainful about any of her hobbies. Story 46. I am never allowed to play. She should not prevent you from playing. You are free to play during your spare time. Story 47. Sounds like she is a controlling person if you ask me. Find a woman who will not disrespect your peace and hobbies. It is essential in a relationship. Best of luck, my friend. Keep gaming. Story 48. I've had similar situations with my cousins where they disapproved of me playing a game. I investigated by basically forcing them to articulate the emotions they experienced when they witnessed me playing the video game, then asked them why they felt that way. I don't know is not an acceptable answer. Story 49. When I first started dating my wife, I made it clear that video games are how I unwind and are important to me. Thankfully, my wife also used to play video games, so she understood. It sounds like you need to have that conversation. You are an adult and are allowed to do what you want to do. Story 50. Get a new girlfriend if you enjoy them and she is bothered by that. First, I would try explaining my side and how I feel, but if that does not work, it is not going to work. Story 51. Upgrade yourself to single or find yourself a new partner. If your partner ridicules and disparages you frequently, you are in a toxic relationship. Story 52. My wife was never much of a gamer and never owned a console. She plays Call of Duty Zombies with me and has played Halo 3 on Legendary to help me get the achievements. She takes an interest in my hobbies. You need a new girlfriend. Story 53. It sounds like you should talk to her about how she should not be attacking you for how you like to spend your free time. If she cannot stop being disrespectful, tell her that you will not stay with someone who disrespects you in your own home like that. She either needs to learn to be respectful or you are going to break up. Story 54. Try to read what you just wrote without emotions. This is plain abuse, my friend. Just imagine the future of this relationship, especially with children. This will suffocate you as an individual. You will be left as a husk of a human and later regret not ending it sooner. You only have one life. Find a partner who is supportive. Your life experience will be drastically better. Story 55. I always put it like this when an ex criticized me for gaming in moderation, which is an important distinction. I socialize with others, work on my reflexes, problem-solving skills, and experience emotions through the medium of gaming. These activities are good for the body. You doom scroll without interacting for untold hours a day. These activities are not the same. Story 56. It's quite simple. If your girlfriend does not like you for who you are and what hobbies you have, you either accept it or find someone who truly loves you for who you are. Story 57. You used the phrase, "if I were allowed," as an adult. Reflect on that for a little bit and ask yourself if you should be in a relationship where you need to ask permission to do things you enjoy. There are many warning signs here. I hope you find the courage and self-respect to do what is best for you. Good luck. Story 58. Does she watch television for more than an hour? Does she go shopping and consider you a given? Does she want your attention while she is on her phone nonstop? Play dude. She will not even notice. Story 59. Assuming this is not an unhealthy amount, there is absolutely nothing wrong with gaming. It is a perfectly healthy and popular hobby for people. In my opinion, gaming is in the same realm as reading and watching television. It is interactive storytelling and often provides a sense of achievement and escapism. Story 60. Start multiple expensive hobbies that get you out of the house. Paintball and mountain biking are mine. Just think of the unlimited gear spending potential. Story 61. Let's say it works out and you get married. Are you going to let another person dictate what you do for fun in your personal free time forever? And second, why would anyone who really loves you tell you to stop doing something that makes you happy? She does not love you. She loves her idea of what she can force you to be. Story 62. No one gets to ridicule or disparage you without reason. Stand firm and remind her that respect is expected. Story 63. Get a new girlfriend. She cannot even respect your hobbies. How will she respect you? I play games far more hours than you, and my girlfriend has never once complained. Story 64. What a horrible person. Try doing the same with things she loves doing. See how quickly she changes her perspective. Probably never, so dump her. Story 65. You are an adult. You do not need permission to play video games. Consider finding a better girlfriend. You might also save some money to buy more video games. Story 66. I was with someone like this. We started off negotiating a balance, but over the years it became less and less acceptable in her eyes. I ended up sacrificing my sleep just to partake in the hobby I loved. She lacked the ability to entertain herself for even an hour, and instead of finding a hobby, she tried to ruin mine. We broke up eventually after 10 years. My new partner does not game as much as I do, but she encourages me to do what I enjoy and even actively tries to join in when she can. 5 years so far, and it has been an absolute breeze. I am keeping this one forever. Story 67. Is there a difference between playing a video game for 30 minutes, watching a television show, reading a book, or doing anything that is not work? Tell her if she does not like it, she can date someone else. Story 68. If I were allowed. When I read the title, I was jokingly going to say to get a new girlfriend. But after reading this, I am now serious about leaving her. You are a grown man and should be able to do what you want without someone ridiculing you. Story 69. Controlling behavior. You have to ask yourself, do you want to live with that for the rest of your life? Story 70. Does your girlfriend have any hobbies? I ask because my ex used to disparage me for playing video games, and she had no hobbies. I have noticed that this is a trend among some women who scold men for having certain hobbies. If she has no hobbies, I would tell her to get some and leave yours alone. If she does have hobbies, try to join her in them. If she refuses to do the same for you, I would start questioning the type of person I am in a relationship with. Story 71. Time to discuss that she does not get to call you names or disparage your hobbies. She does not get an opinion about what you do with your free time. I am sure she spends at least 30 minutes scrolling or watching TV a day. Men play video games. She can get over herself. Negotiate the free time you spend together. Otherwise, you should feel free to spend your free time however you like. I am 47 and I love gaming. It is not going away. I am just getting my kids into it. Story 72. Leave her. Not kidding. Okay, maybe a bit. Never allowed is insane. She can't tell you what you are and are not allowed to do. You are your own person with your own agency. She is your girlfriend, not your mother, not even your wife. Come on now, brother. Tell her this is what you like to do, and you will do it as long as you are not neglecting her. She can react however she wants, whether that be a positive or a negative reaction. Story 73. Get a new girlfriend. Do not compromise on your hobbies, friends, family, or interests for a woman. If you do, you will always regret it and resent her for it. I promise you this is just the beginning. Once she sees you will give up video games for her, next she will start complaining that you see and talk to your friends too much. Then it will be that you watch too much football, or she will claim that your mother is mean to her. She is not. She just sees your mother as competition for your attention and does not want to go over there for dinner anymore. I am telling you, do not give an inch. She either accepts you for who you are or you move on quickly. Story 74. If you are serious about her, you need to have a serious conversation explaining how important this is to you, regardless of how she feels about it. If she still makes fun of you or says that you should be doing something else, consider moving on because she clearly does not care for you or how important this hobby is. It is the same if you are into watching or playing sports and she disparages you for enjoying something that is important to you. Story 75. How harsh is the disparagement exactly? Is it more than good-natured ribbing? Is she giving ultimatums to make you stop gaming? How much time do you spend on your hobby on average per day? Story 76. End the relationship. Someone who dislikes the activity you enjoy the most is clearly not a compatible partner. This does not mean she is wrong, but it does mean she is a poor match. Story 77. You are way too young to be dealing with that sly behavior from a partner. It is a common tactic abusers use to lower their partner's self-esteem and make themselves the source of approval. Story 78. If the person I am with has a problem with a hobby that brings me joy, that is a big problem. That is assuming, of course, that the hobby is not destructive or harmful in any way. Story 79. The edited part sounds controlling and abusive. Couples should be partners, and you have the right to be alone in a relationship to pursue your hobbies. Story 80. Keep the games, ditch the girl. Do not make time in your life for people who ridicule you, especially for something so trivial. Story 81. Well, how long have you been dating? Has she criticized you the whole time? What kind of hobbies does she like? Have you ever canceled plans with her just to play video games? My girlfriend told me that she changed her mind about video games when we started dating. Apparently, she didn't know some of them could be so cool. It's still not her thing, but now she understands it. Story 82. Nothing. Change nothing. Just play games. Have fun. In less than a century, you will be dead, and none of this will matter. Her opinion matters on many things. What you are allowed to enjoy within reason is not one of them. Story 83. The issue isn't finding video games she enjoys. The issue is boundaries and what is likely her double standard towards your hobby. Let's say she enjoys watching reality television shows that you don't enjoy. Would it be acceptable for you to sit there and ridicule her for her interest until she stopped? Clearly not. In a relationship, it's important to have boundaries. One boundary you really need to assert is that you won't tolerate her belittling you for the interest you enjoy. You can point out that she has her own interests that you don't enjoy, and you do not make her feel bad for pursuing them. Codependent relationships frequently look like a total erosion of boundaries, with one party seeking control over the other's behavior, friends, interests, and free time. If you want to maintain the relationship, it must start with some healthy boundaries. If you aren't able to have those simple healthy boundaries, you aren't in a healthy relationship. Story 84. This is a significant warning sign, in my opinion. Explain to her how her actions make you feel. If she does not care and continues the behavior, it shows she does not genuinely care about your feelings in practice, and it is probably time to move on. I can be insensitive sometimes, so I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. However, if they continue after understanding that their actions negatively affect others, then they no longer deserve the benefit of the doubt. Story 85. I used to have a girlfriend who disliked anything that I enjoyed because it took away my time from the most important thing in the entire world. Her. Of course, she was free to have her own interests, and thank God for that. Even things I enjoyed that directly benefited her, she grew to dislike because I didn't see it as drudgery. It's hard to explain, but that is controlling behavior. I see it as someone who has zero respect for you unless you give them what they want. Your girlfriend sounds like a woman who would refer to herself as simple. It will get worse if you put up with it. Story 86. Bro, some of the language you are using is very strange. How does your girlfriend allow you to play or not play? If you are above the age of 18, no one should be allowing or disallowing you to do anything. I assume you are an adult, and even if not, there is no girlfriend in this world who can tell you what you can or cannot do. Story 87. If women cannot understand hobbies, it should not be on us to hold their hand to explain. I married a gamer, so luckily I do not have to deal with this, but my last girlfriend would get annoyed when I played games even though she would sit around and watch just the most trivial shows like Pretty Little Liars. If I did not play, we would end up watching her shows or movies she liked. I basically had to explain to her how hobbies work to get her off my back. I am older, so honestly, I spend more time figuring out a game to play than playing it. Do not get me wrong, if you are the sort of person who needs 6 hours of gaming a night, I can see how that might be problematic in a relationship. But that could be said for 6 hours a night doing any hobby and ignoring the person you are in a relationship with. Story 88. I am so tired of all these people endlessly arguing and being angry on the internet. Yet you are letting your partner tell you what you can and cannot do, kicking up a fuss because you are playing video games. Ridiculous. I would honestly talk to her if I were you. If she still has a problem, end the relationship. Story 89. It never ceases to amaze me how many people are in toxic, harmful relationships and think it is normal. What the original poster is dealing with is not normal or acceptable. Story 90. Get a new girlfriend. It may sound simple and ridiculous, but if she cannot appreciate you and the things you enjoy, it is a toxic relationship. Leave and find someone who accepts you for who you are. Story 91. If she spends hours on Instagram and watching reality television or whatever she does to disconnect, Just compare the two and say that is how she disconnects. If she continues, either get used to it or end the relationship. Story 92. Dear girlfriend, I like to play video games. It is a hobby of mine. I will not stop doing it. If you do not like it, there is the door. I will not sacrifice parts of myself because you think it is beneath you. Make a choice. I am good either way. Story 93. Sorry to tell you this, but she is never going to be happy with you playing video games. She is not the one. Even if video games were interfering with chores or other responsibilities, she should not disparage or ridicule you. She should help you complete your chores first before you enjoy your relaxation and hobbies. If those hobbies are video games, she should be happy that you have a passion for something. Story 94. You need to feel free to pursue your hobbies. The language you use in the post is concerning, as if she is your mother and you need permission. If that is the kind of dynamic you already have, where you are shamed for enjoying a hobby and feel the need to get permission from her, it is a slippery slope. You obviously need to have a long talk about boundaries and what is important to you, or you will become resentful and unhappy in the long run. Story 95. Girls are temporary, video games are forever. Dump her. On a more serious note, I have had this issue myself. She does not respect you and your hobby. The relationship will not work out. You wrote aloud. What is she, your mom or boss? Story 96. Find a new girlfriend. I had one girlfriend like that once. I still thank God I did not marry her. It was constant psychological pressure. Watching TV was okay. But games? Only kids play them, apparently. I was lucky to find someone more compatible. My current partner likes playing games herself. Not sticking around with an incompatible person was the best decision I ever made. Story 97. Dump her. You two are not compatible. You are an adult, so you are allowed to do anything you want. Find a girlfriend who plays video games with you. That is what I did. Story 98. Tell her to get off your back. You said you play 30 minutes to an hour. If that's true, she should just relax and stop trying to be your mother. Stop this talk of, if I'm allowed to. Story 99. Fundamentally, people who get really worked up about other people's hobbies and interests, to the point they mock them for doing so, do so because inside they have not got a lot going on and they are jealous. They wish they could do that, so they lash out at the people who can. They may lean on phrases like, it's childish. But ultimately it is because they are empty inside and it tears them up seeing you enjoy yourself. My wife loves pottery, painting, and arts and craft activities. I think they are the most boring things ever, but how strange would I be if I said, you need to stop going to pottery painting. Pots are not for adults. They are for kids. You need to be a wife doing adult things, not painting pots for 1 hour a week. It is patently ridiculous. I play fighting games competitively, and it is the same. She has zero interest, but as long as we spend time together, bills are paid, we are present for each other, and we make time for each other, why would she mind if she goes to bed and I play Tekken for 7 hours? It is such a strange thing to be upset about. Fair enough if you are not present in the relationship or not meeting your commitments, but other than that, all it says to me is this person is trying to keep you in a box where you do and say what they want and have no interests outside of them. Story 100. Original poster. Have you played Assassin's Creed 4? Black Flag? I would advise you to make like Johnny and leave her. Story 101. If I found a woman who did not like one of my favorite hobbies, I would not date her. Simple answer for me, really. Story 102. If you are not allowed 30 minutes to yourself each day, then you are dating a controlling, manipulative person. My advice? Get a new girlfriend. Story 103. My ex used to always take little nitpicks and shots at me whenever I was on the computer gaming. I would work a long day, and I typically used it as my decompression time. It started to make me feel anxious whenever I played, to the point that it just created more stress. My new girlfriend asked me what I was doing and responded, "At least you have hobbies." Then went back to doing her own thing, while I pretended to be a dwarf with a group of grown men online. Do not compromise on things you enjoy. Story 104. I had a girlfriend who tried to monopolize my time and tell me how to live my life. I decided that I don't want to date someone who feels obligated to parent me. Best decision I ever made. Live your life how you want and surround yourself with people who genuinely care about you. Don't feel bad about cutting out people who try to control you, especially over something as silly as video games. If you were escaping to do black tar heroin, this would be a different discussion. Life is too short to let people control your life and what you do. Either tell her, "This is what I am doing," or end the relationship if she doesn't accept it. Story 105. If I were allowed. You are a grown man. You decide what you are allowed to do, not her. She is not your mother. Listen to how submissive that sentence makes you. If you do not set your own rules now, it will only continue to get worse as time goes on. You already know what is happening is wrong, and you already know what to do about it. Story 106. Well, it is an entire media genre. The same could be said about watching movies, television shows, and even reading books. Story 107. Allowed to? What is she, your mother? Why is she criticizing you for something that brings joy and offers escapism? I had an ex who couldn't stand animation. She just didn't like any of it. Don't let this person take away something that brings joy in your life. Story 108. Get a new girlfriend. You are allowed to have hobbies. As long as you are still a functioning adult, playing video games should not be a problem for a partner. Story 109. Gal here. Leave. Laughing my ass off. She does not have to enjoy the exact same things as you, but like any other hobby, your interests deserve respect. As long as you are functioning fine and there are no major issues, it is completely insane that she is controlling your life in any way, video games or not. I promise there are plenty of women who will respect your interests, if not even share them. Think about it this way. Do you want it to be like this for the rest of your life? Story 110. Never being allowed to play them is strange. Do not let someone control you. With that said, communicate with her. Find out why she thinks the way she does and explain how it makes you feel. Story 111. I think I need more context here. How old are you? Does your gaming interfere with your life in any way? Are you able to pause or quit a game to take care of chores as needed? Also, what does she do in her free time? If your romantic partner is treating you poorly based on your description, I suggest you talk it out with her. Otherwise, it may fester and damage your relationship. Address it now in a calm and rational way to avoid future problems. Story 112. Major red flag for several reasons. First, she is ridiculing something that brings you joy and does not harm anyone. Second, it shows her lack of maturity for making fun of anyone for playing video games, especially her significant other. In my opinion, it is time to have a serious conversation or leave the relationship. I personally would not tolerate my significant other ridiculing the things I enjoy without reason. Story 113. I had one girlfriend like this. Long story short, we broke up because I can't be with someone who can't rationalize the irony between me playing a few hours of video games a day and her doom scrolling on her phone or watching Bones and NCIS reruns longer than I play video games. She would have no issue with someone watching 3 hours of Australian rules football, but video games are dumb. Story 114. She sounds very abusive and not understanding. It is no different than any other entertainment-like hobby someone has. Does she watch movies or television? Does she endlessly scroll on Instagram? Does she watch YouTube? Like all hobbies, as long as they don't control your entire life and you are still on top of your responsibilities, it is not a problem. I am 41 and have been with my current partner for almost 9 years. She is not super thrilled about video games, which I love and play fairly often, but she understands that they make me happy. As long as they do not interfere with my life as an adult, they are not a problem. I read your post again and would like to add that if you have a partner who does not allow you to do something you want to do that hurts absolutely nothing and nobody, they are not a good partner and you are being manipulated. You need to take a step back and take a good long look at that person and whether they actually add value to your life. Story 115. Hating on your partner for playing video games is outdated. Unless they are playing an extreme amount to the point of neglecting hygiene, school, work, or the relationship, there is no reason to be upset with them. Ask her if she would appreciate you criticizing her hobbies. Video games are no more childish than any other hobby. Story 116. End the relationship. You are an adult. She does not get to decide how you live your life any more than you get to decide how she lives hers. If she cannot be mature about not liking something you do, then the relationship is not healthy. Story 117. She is probably not right for you. Remove the bandage sooner rather than later if she is not willing to compromise. Story 118. Brother, that is not your mother. The second you are not allowed to do something you enjoy or you are ridiculed or disrespected, end the relationship with her. You should date someone because you enjoy it, and nothing about the situation you are describing sounds enjoyable. Story 119. Tell her the video games are here to stay, and if she does not like that, she can leave. She wants you to be as miserable as she is. Story 120. Brother, are you a dog on a leash? What do you mean allowed to play games by your girlfriend? Get a grip and tell her you will play whatever you want. Story 121. Comments here are quite disturbing. Original poster. Sit your girlfriend down and explain to her, with assertiveness but kindly enough, that gaming is non-negotiable for you. 30 minutes to 1 hour is not even that much. Lay your boundaries. Offer to sometimes show her a game or a cooperative session for her to try for herself. If it was something unhealthy, like playing during sleep time for hours and making noise with friends, or even neglecting chores and time together, that would be one thing. Story 122. 1. She does not respect you. Get rid of her. My wife regularly plays video games, even more than I do. Story 123. Have you asked her why she has such a negative opinion of video games? Your idea of introducing her to gaming does seem like it could be successful. Story 124. Find a new girlfriend. My wife is not a huge video gamer herself, but she is an avid reader. Many evenings, she will come in and read in my office while I play. If you are not with someone who can support your hobbies, and you support their hobbies in return, that is not the right relationship for you. Story 125. I'm not a man, but seriously, gender aside, why are you with someone who ridicules you over a hobby that isn't obstructing other daily activities, including chores? You said it yourself, you play for 30 minutes. If you play any story-based role-playing games, 30 minutes is barely enough time to finish a quest. You do your chores and handle your responsibilities beforehand. At this point, I would be more concerned if you have tried explaining or otherwise, and she refused to listen or doubled down on ridiculing you. That is just straight disrespectful. Perhaps you could try showing her some introductory video games that are for more casual players like Idols, farming games, life simulation games, Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, or Unpacking. What about story-based ones with minimal gameplay like Firewatch? Or maybe something silly like Untitled Goose Game. If she keeps insulting you and your hobby even after you have politely asked her not to do so, especially when there are objectively worse things that could be happening, like clubbing with excessive alcohol and hard drugs, then I think you should reflect on your relationship. Consider whether you will be okay with her belittling your hobby and, by extension, you a few years down the line. Story 126. Give up video games or give up the girl. If you give up video games, consider the likelihood that she will want you to give up something else next. Story 127. Would you rather me out drinking and partying all night? Because I can do that instead. Does she have hobbies? It sounds like she doesn't. Maybe get her into some. Story 128. I think a fairly basic requirement of a relationship is that your partner does not have to like or have an interest in your hobbies, but should respect that you do. Your girlfriend is not doing that. Rather than trying to win her over to the medium, I recommend just telling her that she is behaving in a really bad way. Story 129. Run. I say this as a woman, but if leaving is unthinkable, at the very least tell her that you will not be in a relationship with someone who ridicules you or makes disparaging comments about your hobbies. Games are legitimate art, but that is beside the point. When someone loves you or just cares about your happiness, they will not jab and snark at your personal tastes, which inflict harm on no one. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.